All right, guys, so here's the middle of the year check in. Have you hit your goals? Are you on track to hitting your goals? Where are you at? And right now is the perfect time to be looking at this because we're about to step into June, which is going to basically put you right there in the middle of the year. And so you've got 6 months left to hit your goals. And if you're not on track, there's a lot of things that this year has given to us, whether that be if you're in the real estate industry, it's been higher interest rates, lower buyers, inventory is weird, pricing is weird. And so there's a lot of different things that are going on. And especially if you're not even in the real estate market and you're just this natural economy, things can be weird. So this is the time that you need to be checking in. And there's one really cool tip that I've learned recently that I really enjoy because it's been able to help me kind of change a few of the things that I would normally do this time of year. And that's called the inversion model. This is something that you take a problem, and so whether that's hitting your goal or just a basic problem, or if you're trying to work on advertisement, you can literally take that and figure out what that problem is, ask, okay, how can I achieve my goals this year? And then flip it and say, okay, what are the things that would guarantee me not to hit my goals this year? And that's going to give you a lot shorter of a list. And that's why it's a better question to ask, because it's going to give you everything that you should not be doing. And then the other way, the normal way of kind of looking at the problem is going to be, how do I hit my goals? And it's going to give you a bunch of different things to kind of work through or a to-do list rather. And that can become overwhelming. If you do it this way, you will literally fix the problem because you can guarantee that you are not going to be doing the things that would cause you not to hit your goal. And so you will almost create this space of, okay, if I just do these 4 things, I'm going to achieve the goal that I'm trying to achieve. So I wanted to break that down and actually show you what it looks like in practice. Right now, how you would break that down in the process of this system or this model is going to be state the goal, flip it, sort into 2 categories, self-inflicted and externally inflicted. Pick everything that is self-inflicted and you're going to write what characteristic that you need to be able to overcome this item. I'm going to leave that 4th space up to you, but I will show you how to break down the first 3. So for a short example here, you're going to, let's say you want to be a top producer. You want to make, $150,000 this year in commissions by December 31st. That is going to give you exactly the goal. And let's say that you set that January 1 and you're working through it and you just haven't hit the metrics that you need. Then at that point, what I would say, okay, so I'm almost halfway through the year. What are the things that I need to do to make sure that I am hitting these goals? Maybe I fell off on my consistency. Maybe I did this, and this. So here is a quick breakdown of that goal. The next question that you are going to ask is, how can I guarantee that I miss this by the end of the year? I have 6 months left. How can I guarantee that I do not hit this goal? You're going to come up with a few different factors. These are what I came up with for just a real estate agent. Stop making outbound calls, not being consistent, not following up weekly, and blaming the market for your problems. Externally, what could affect your goal would be rate spikes and inventory issues, pricing. There's a lot of different things that can affect it externally, but those are not as important as what you are going to need to do for self-inflicted issues. And so this is where you're going to be able to start making those adjustments, because now okay, stop making outbound calls. Well, the opposite of that would be always make your outbound calls. Every single day, make your calls. The second piece is not being consistent. Okay, well, what do I need to do to be consistent? Well, I've got to be consistent. So now I understand that I need to be consistently doing everything that I need to be doing on a regular basis. I don't need to be changing my marketing up every week. I don't need to, jump on the next shiny thing. I need to focus. The third piece is going to be following up. So if I don't follow up, I won't be able to get further down the road with these people. I'm not going to be able to build the relationships that I need to build to be able to close at a higher volume. These people either buy, die, or file a restraining order. That's the only way you're getting out of my follow-up. And that's what you've got to be consistent with. Number 4, you cannot blame external factors for what you are not doing. And in this event, you know, a lot of people get caught up in well, the rates are too high, so people aren't buying, and this and that, and the housing prices are going down, so people aren't selling. Like, all of these things are externally driven factors that you cannot control. And so it's not a part of what's happening. You just have to do more work. By doing more work, you are going to provide better results. And if you can outwork the market, then you will always have business. And the moment that you allow your excuses to become external, you will never be able to get to that next level, because everything that happens in life is always going to affect you and how you operate. And that cannot be the way that you handle your business. And so that's a quick little rundown. The next things would be figuring out what type of characteristics are you going to need to be able to prevent these things from happening. In a short way, you could simply say discipline, consistency. You know, you're going to have to be that person that you're trying to be now versus in the future. And so that is how you make those adjustments. This is something that is very applicable to any problem that comes up in your life. And you can always flip it around and say, okay, how can I make this not work? If I didn't want this conversation to go well, how would I make that? What actions would I take, right? Charlie Munger used this same process to build his billion-dollar business, right? And this is something that can be applicable. This is something that can be used on a daily process of always thinking about something differently. Think about it in a different model than what you're used to thinking. And that's going to create a different result, because you're always going to be looking at things at a different view, a different viewpoint. You're always going to be making adjustments in the idea of, okay, well, maybe I can solve this problem. And if not, then I know exactly the things that I need to do to not do to achieve this. And that's going to start creating this environment inside of your brain to be able to start looking at things abstractly, or maybe just a little bit differently than you're used to. So I hope this is helpful. This is something that I've been implementing in a couple different aspects of my life, personal and business. And I'm starting to see that there is a lot of benefit to this model. And I got this from the book Mental Models, the greatest mental models, or something like that. It's super helpful. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I would check out that. The audio book is a little hard to listen to, but it is a very, very good book that I would recommend. So if you are interested, or if you enjoy this content, like, share, subscribe content. We love being able to put this stuff out and being able to help the younger generation or the older generation, and just overall just being able to help people kind of get further down the road. If I can help with that bell curve at all, that's what I'm here for. So appreciate you guys.